I've similar. Don't disagree with anything the guy's saying. I think the Bama fight for Chris I think that's been super important because he's had that walkout in the big arena on a bigger show. So this will not be his first time. That will help him deal with any nerves that might have been. I don't think he's a guy that gets nervous anyway, but he'll have that experience. He'll walk out in the crowd and he will be lapping it up. He's got all his guys there, his supporters there, which he commands plenty of them, and he loves that and he plays up to it. He's a showman and he'll come out and I think he'll start fast. He'll not give a toss that this guy's unbeaten in an amateur or as a pro. He'll just want to go out there, make a statement against this guy who's seen as one of England's rising stars. So what better way to make a name for yourself is to put somebody away like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on, guys, to another Scottish fighter on the card. We have Kieran the Hater Malone. He's just set to take on the very experienced John the One Maguire. Maguire's fresh off a submission victory over the Freak Show Fletcher. And when I spoke to Kieran, he said he reckons Maguire is on a decline, on a downside of his career, if you like. Let's start with Tom Heffernan this time. Tom, do you think that's something you agree with? Do you think Maguire's on the decline? And does he have what it takes when he faces Malone?
I don't know if he's on a decline. I'll be honest, I've not seen a great deal of John Maguire recently. Obviously seen him in the UFC like everybody else, and the guy's super dangerous. He's got a ton of experience. He's fought for just about every promotion going. He's his jiu-jitsu is his strong point. He's finished maybe 14, something like that. So, a guy like Kieran Malone coming in here, full credit. He's fighting he'd probably get maybe the toughest fight out of all the Scottish boys, to be honest. He's had that experience. He's been a pro for nearly 10 years. He's wrestling. I think in this fight, his wrestling is going to be key because John will be looking to bring him down. Kieran's wrestling might prevent that, and he can maybe outstrike him. Talking to Kieran, he seems super confident. He feels he's on the rise, as you say, and John's not. He's starting to slow down a bit, and maybe he's lost that hunger the same as Norman Parke said he might have. I don't know. It's a fight I'm actually really looking forward to. There's a wee bit of a needle on Twitter early doors when this fight was first sort of speculated, and I just think this might have it might be a bit of a sleeper. This might be fight of the night. I don't know. This might be one of the fights of the night, I should say. As to who wins, I think it'll go right through to the last, and I think maybe just Kieran might be a wee bit fresh, and I'll go with Kieran on a decision.
Kieran for a decision for you, sir. Paul, how about yourself? Kieran's a guy you're no doubt familiar with. How do you think he'll do on Scotland's biggest MMA show of the year, sir?
Yep, Kieran was obviously he's fought Chris Bungard, so watched a fair bit of footage of Kieran. I'm not even sure what his record is. He's one of these guys that have got a crazy record. I think it's like
9-9. 9-9, I believe.
9-9. It's absolute whoppers, man. He's talking shit. With regards to Maguire, obviously he's been in the UFC, so he's good enough. Kieran Malone's never ever going to get to the UFC. Like he's never. He's not an athlete. He's out of shape. And he's ugly as well. I don't see Kieran Malone coming out the first round. Prove me wrong, Kieran, but I don't see it happening. I just think Maguire's a more rounded fighter. And did Maguire get beat off Rogers? Saul Rogers?
Saul Rogers. I'd need to double check that. Someone can Google that for me.
I'll check that just now for you guys.
I think
most folk get off with Saul Rogers, so if he did,
no doubt, because Saul Rogers only has one loss, and I know that's to Shea Walsh, but yeah, he's pretty much obliterated.
Yeah, he lost to Saul Rogers 2014 decision.
There you go.
Yep.
So my money's on Maguire. I don't see Kieran Malone turning up as an athlete. I see him turning up a fat turd.
No bias at all.
No bias whatsoever.
What gym does Kieran train at?
I think he's higher level, isn't he?
Higher level in Whitburn,
I didn't know that. I didn't even know that.
There you go.
There you go.
It's a joke.
Oh, superb, sir, superb. Finally, Don, what are your thoughts on Malone and his contest against the One Maguire?
Yeah, when this popped up, I was interested because I've not saw Maguire fought in a while, and having looked into him recently, and he's on a 4-fight win streak. He's actually looked pretty good, and I saw Kieran fight SFC recently. Yeah. I thought the guy was fighting was Jazz Boots. I thought he looked pretty good. He looked pretty stocky, quite strong and stuff. And I thought he'd done well against him. But then I saw Jazz Boots' record. He's 19-29.
Jeez.
And I was like, it changed my opinion a wee bit, because I thought he was better than he was. He's lost a lot of decisions. The guy's not getting battered about. He is losing decisions. But that record did sway. I mentioned it's interesting to see what Maguire's game plan is for this fight. We all know he's Gypsy Jitsu moniker, and he's got a strong Kimura. Yeah. I see Maguire keeping the pressure, but Malone maybe kind of staying there. But I think if Maguire gets a hold of him, just drag him to the cage, get him down. I think it's a hard fight kind of to pick. I can see Maguire getting him down and getting a sub, but it's what kind of condition Malone comes in. If Malone comes in and his condition is quite good, I can see him maybe edging out a decision, but it's a tough one for me to pick. I
think it's definitely both guys will be playing their strengths. Maguire looking for that submission game, and Malone obviously looking to get his wrestling game going. But I think it'll be a lot closer than what people might think. Let's move on, guys. Continuing with our theme of Scottish fighters, and one of the headliners on this card is none other than Robert Whiteford. God knows we've tried many a time to get him on the show, but alas, again, not to be, I'm afraid. But what we do know is he takes on Kevin Pesci, a hungry young fighter who's 9-2 in his professional career and looking to cause an upset at the Hydro. Let's start with Don this time. Don, obviously Whiteford was bitterly disappointed about being released by the UFC following his last loss. But do you think he can bounce back here and unleash some of that fire that got him the victory last time he fought at the Hydro?
I think this might actually be a tough fight for Whiteford. Pesci, he's a fast, aggressive fighter, and his striking is controlled. He's really fast. Obviously, that's why he's going into the machine gun. So you know where that comes from. He doesn't swing wild hooks or anything. He keeps it tight, gets in there, and keeps the pressure on. Loves to use his knees, and I think Whiteford needs to make quite work. He needs to show his power. If Pesci comes in, he needs to try and get the counter, hit him, and basically show him that if you rush into me, you're going to get caught. You need to try and kind of keep him away for that. And obviously, if he can do that, he can control the pace. Pesci gets in close. Whiteford wouldn't be crazy for getting the fight to the cage, using his judo, kind of dirty boxing it, going for the takedown. Obviously, on the ground, and he might be able to kind of grind Pesci out. Pesci's speed, obviously, maybe the concern for Whiteford. He is really fast. He gets in there and he gets in your face. So he can close the distance, get him against the cage, get him to the ground, and see what happens for there. If he stands and trades with Pesci, it might be a short night for Whiteford, but from watching, I was impressed by his footage, and I was watching some Whiteford footage, and two totally different speeds. It just depends what kind of game plan Whiteford's going in with here. Yeah,
fair play. And Tom, what about yourself? Is Whiteford back to winning ways on this one, or will the crowd be silenced by the Gladiator MMA fighter?
I think Robert needs to be back to winning ways on this fight. He's coming off two defeats that seen him part company with the UFC, and this will be his first fight back since, I believe. And what a way to come back in the Hydro, where you sort of made your name with the Flower of Scotland walkout and all that sort of thing. Yeah. In the first round KO, the jump over the side of the cage and all that. So he's got a lot to live up to coming back here, plus the pressure of headlining the event. He said when I spoke to him, he said he wanted a hard fight, and this guy does seem to be a decent enough fighter for him. He's only got 2 losses. One of them is to Paddy Pimblett, who's making a name for himself in Cage Warriors.
Certainly is.
And the Kevin, he seems to be getting billed as a striker, but he's got more submissions. He's only got 2 KOs. He's got 4 submissions. He's well rounded enough for Robert. I think Robert's going to go out and try and look for that same KO again to sort of whip the crowd into a frenzy, but I think he should go back. I think he needs, in this fight, he needs to go back and look at his judo game again and see if he can get him down, and maybe use that and get some ground and pound going or something like that. I don't know if this is a fight he should be standing up with the guy. He's quite, he's a kickboxer as well, this Kevin Pesci, and he might, I don't know, there's something, my spider sense is telling me this guy's pretty going to be a handful for Robert, but it's like anything else. Over my dead body will somebody beat me in my home soil, so I think that's going to be a big factor in this fight. And I can't not go for a Scottish fighter. I'm going to take Robert to take this fight as well, and I think it'll go into the second, and I think Robert might get a TKO in the second.
Oh, good shout, sir. TKO second round. Finally, Paul, how do you rate Mr. Whiteford's chances and your thoughts on this featherweight contest?
I think it's a bad matchup for Whiteford. He gets beat. Obviously, I want him to win because I want to see UFC Scotland coming back.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a win here, then you can put him on and Joanne and Stevie. But I can't see him getting it. He's fighting a guy who's pretty experienced, right? He's not a world beater. He's not in the same. He's not a UFC fighter. What I'm trying to say is,
yeah.
He fights the weird amateur rules in Spain, or the weird pro rules where there's I don't even know them, but is it no headshots?
Something to do with on the ground or something, right? I can't remember. I know what you're saying.
The old amateur rules used to be no headshots on the ground. My first couple
they do these weird rules in. They do these weird rules in Spain, France, where he's from, and so he's 9 wins, 2 losses, one of them Paddy Pimlet, 2 knockouts. I'm just looking at sheer dog here. 2 knockouts, 4 subs.
We all are.
So I'm going to give it to him with a submission. I think Whiteford takes it to the ground. He's going to get subbed. He's a good judo guy, but I don't see him as a good jiu-jitsu guy. He's never ever shown any of that kind of stuff. But he has got that big hammer, and if that lands, and it's the same way in these fights, if you land a clean shot on him, he's cooking, man. Take it off. I'm against Whiteford in this one. He's the worst Scottish guy about. His fake American accent done me not, and the way he conducts himself in the UFC, I'm pretty glad they cut him. He was born as fuck.
What was his fake American accent? I missed that one. What was
it? You never hear his fake American accent when he was talking to people?
No, what was that?
It was just him talking, but he put on this weird accent, and somebody told him up front, he went, it's just because people can't understand me because I speak too fast. So he has this really dodgy accent and just come off as a dick. That's the bottom line.
Oh, that's hilarious. I need to check that interview out now. That's brilliant.
This will probably be the last time we'll be on your podcast, by the way.
well, he's certainly not want to come on, but Robert, if you are listening and you want to come on, I welcome fake American accents. I'm good at doing voices, so if you if you want to play that game, that's fine. Excellent stuff. Sorry, I'm just wiping the tears from my eyes. So moving on, guys, we have the other headliner, which is Saul Rogers, a very skillful fighter. Issues with his visa or something, I believe, is what cut his UFC career short before it even had a chance to sort of even get started. Let's start with Tom Heffernan this time. Tom, can you shed any light on exactly what went wrong? Why is this man not fighting in the UFC?
Yeah, well, it was reported that obviously he was an Ultimate Fighter, and you need to compete in America, you need a visa, a working visa, because they see that as working. So it turned out he had left some stuff out on his visa application, I believe.
Right.
This is speculation, of course. Allegedly, that's the word I'm looking for. And it transpired when they went back to do the visa again for the finale. Obviously, he got right through to the finale, and he was supposed to fight Artem Lobov. And that's when it all came to light, when he went back to do the work visa again. So that, I don't think the UFC were too happy. He said it was an accident, and they thought it wasn't. So that led to them parting company.
I read somewhere if you lie on your form, you get like 5 or 10 years, you actually get banned from going into the country.
Whoa.
Oh, there you go. I didn't realise that. So that might have happened then.
Because he did post something like if it wasn't for MMA, he'd probably be in jail or something like that. So a lot of people were speculating it could be a past crime or a drug thing or something like that.
Allegedly.
Well, I don't know.
Allegedly.
All we know was a visa complication, and that's paid his UFC career for the time being. But what Saul is one of the best MMA guys in the UK. He's got an absolutely outstanding record, unbeaten as an amateur. He's only lost once as a pro, and he's a pretty tasty fighter. And I think ACB are lucky to have him. He signed a multi-fight deal with them, and he is a very ambitious guy. And I think they had a bit of trouble trying to find somebody that was actually willing to fight him. Fair play to Mitchell Adelina, who stepped in. He's had 15 fights under his name. I think he's 8-7. Hard guy to finish. 5 of those. I think he's a hard guy to finish. I think he's just
tough.
He goes to decision a lot. But I don't think he's fought anybody anywhere remotely near Saul Rogers' calibre. And just like the Norman Parke fight, I think this one's going to be short and sweet. Saul, the minute he takes this, he knows he'll take this guy down at will, and the minute this guy's on the floor, it's game over. And